If you thought about giving up, this word is the sign you asked for. Calm your mind now. I am here, speaking to you. Nothing about this moment is random. What your eyes see may look like chaos, but what heaven sees is a turning point. I was silent, but not absent. I was preparing the command that would change everything. And it has been given. Archangel Michael stands before you at this very moment, sword unsheathed, to ensure that what was written about you begins to be fulfilled. A secret miracle has been approved in heaven, and your name is on it. You were not forgotten. You were preserved. I kept you standing when everything said you would fall. I held your steps when you no longer had the strength to rise. The tears that fell in the silence of the night were not ignored. They rose before me as prayer. And I answered, I saw, I heard. And today I mark this moment to release something the enemy tried to block for far too long. But no resistance is greater than my voice. When I command, doors open. When I breathe, chains break. You are not just receiving a word, you are being positioned into a new season. The atmosphere has changed, even if the outer signs have not yet caught up. But you felt it. Inside your spirit, something began to stir. It was not your imagination, it was confirmation. My hand is upon you. What once was heavy is now beginning to feel light. What was darkness now receives light. I am pulling you out of the place of suffocation and into the place of promise. You prayed for this. You waited for this. And at times you thought I had forgotten. But I am the God who works in silence, behind the scenes. I am the one who sees beyond time. And while you wept over the delay, I was building a path so that the blessing would not only arrive, but remain. I am not giving you crumbs, I am delivering a harvest. What you planted with faith, even in pain, will now bloom before all eyes. Michael was not sent in vain. He came with a decree in hand, released. What was being held back by dark spiritual interference is now being restored to your destiny cycle. People will be touched without you needing to say a word. Hearts will open. What once seemed unreachable will be drawn to you, not because you forced it, but because I released it. You will no longer be shamed. You will no longer be confused. You are not late. You are in the exact second of my heavenly schedule. The window has opened, and what seemed dormant is waking up. Gifts you thought you lost are rising again. Forgotten visions are being restored. I am resurrecting your hope. Today you will understand that what seemed like the end was preparation, that the silence was not absence but strategy, and that the pain was not punishment but construction. I let you walk through the fire not to burn you but to purify you. I brought you to the edge of the cliff not to throw you but to teach you to trust. You survived what was meant to stop you, and now I launch you into the new. Everything spoken against you will be reversed. Every curse will be nullified. Every word of defeat will be turned into testimony. Because I, the Lord, am faithful to my promise. And I promised to be with you. I promised no weapon formed against you would prosper. And I promised you would see the fruit of your perseverance. And I fulfill. I am not a man to lie, nor a son of man to change my mind. What I said, I will do. You are about to see my justice in action. The one who rejected you will witness the table being set. What was taken from you by force will be restored with honor. Do not defend yourself. Do not justify yourself. I myself will be your defense. I myself will be your shield. And as you walk in faith, Michael wars in silence. No arrow launched against you will stand. No chain will resist the fire I am releasing now. Rise up from within. Do not lower your head anymore. You carry a living promise, And this promise was not written by human hands, but by my own spirit. You are not small. You are chosen. You are not fragile. You are strengthened in me. And even if everyone around you stops believing, I will keep believing in you, because I am the one who formed you, who set you apart, and who positioned you in this time. Receive this word as a seal, as an answer, as activation. This is the moment when your story changes tone. I am touching areas no one sees. I am healing what your heart never knew how to explain. I am aligning what seemed out of place, and what is coming will be so fast, so precise, so transforming that you will only be able to say was God, and it will be, because I am. Calm your soul, breathe deeply. What was impossible until yesterday is already being aligned today. What seemed lost is being redirected. The pain is becoming testimony. The weight is becoming lightness. The darkness is lifting, and you are being led step by step into the miracle that bears your name. Now comment, declare in faith, I receive, because heaven has already declared it is done. And not even all of hell can stop what I have started. Michael has already gone. The order has already been released, and you are about to live the unexpected. I saw every hidden tear. I know the weight you carry that no one else sees. When everything seemed calm on the outside, but inside you were screaming without sound, I was there. When you had to smile while bleeding inside, I did not withdraw. You did not cry alone, not for a single second. I gathered every tear and turned them into seeds of honor. What you went through was not punishment, it was preparation. I did not test you to hurt you. I allowed the process to shape you. What seemed like a delay was, in fact, the exact time of the foundation. And now that it is firm, I can build something lasting. You wondered where I was when the pain surrounded you. I was closer than ever. I was in the silence that sustained you. I was in the peace that came without explanation. I was in the moments when you almost gave up, but carried on for one more day. That unexplainable strength was me. The faith that held you was the invisible thread of my presence. You were sustained by promises you could not yet see, but that were already fulfilled in heaven. The exhaustion that threatened to stop you will now become the stage of my glory. What was grey begins to gain color. What was loss begins to be reorganized. What was night begins to dawn. I allowed you to reach your limit to show you that it is not by your strength, but by my grace. I led you to the point where you thought it was the end, just to reveal that there the miracle would begin. You thought you were being dismantled, but I was building your strongest version. The pain was not in vain. It carved out space for something greater. Do not look at the past as a burden. See it as a testimony. I turned your pain into a platform. The deserts you crossed were not empty paths, but territories of growth. It was there that I taught you to hear my voice. It was there that I strengthened you in hiding. The loneliness that hurt so much was actually my invitation to intimacy. And you responded even without understanding. You sought me even when everything around you said it was not worth it. You remained faithful when no one saw. And that is why today I honor you out loud. Do you remember when you thought it was over? When you believed the hole was too deep? I was at the bottom with you. I was in the place where the world gave up, but I persisted. You felt rejection, but I welcomed you. You felt abandoned, but I embraced you. And every time they said you had no future, I smiled within because I knew what I was writing about you. Nothing went unnoticed. None of your pain was meaningless. Now the time has come when everything that was opaque will be illuminated. Just as a plowed field looks destroyed before being planted, so was your story. I had to stir, uproot, break. But it was to prepare the soil. The tears were the water, the pain was the fertilizer. The time that seemed lost was, in fact, a season of fertilization. And now that everything is ready, I cast the seed of promise. It will grow quickly, it will take shape, and you will know that this is why you had to go through it all. You were forged in the fire of persistence. While others chose shortcuts, you chose to remain. While others gave up, you decided to trust. While others hid, you kept praying. And that is why now I exalt you. Not because of merit, but because of faithfulness. Your faith was the fragrance that rose up to me. It was your insistent cry that moved the heavens. I did not choose you because you were the strongest, but because even weak you remained. And now what once was a wound will be a scar full of glory. What once was shame will be a testimony of restoration. I am turning pages, I am writing new chapters, and those who saw you in pieces will see you standing, clothed in my light. Your weariness will become strength, your weeping into joy. Your waiting into abundant harvest. What you went through is not the end of the story, it was only the beginning of a new construction, and everything that seemed small will be multiplied. Everything that seemed confusing will be clarified, and you will look back no longer with pain, but with gratitude, because you will see that it was me the whole time, even when you thought you were alone, even when you felt forgotten. I never stopped taking care of you. Now the scenery changes, the season changes, and what seemed dry begins to bloom. The winds of my will are blowing, and you will no longer be dragged by circumstances. You will be guided by my hand. What once was instability will be direction. What was uncertainty will be certainty. And what was silence will be the sound of celebration. So lift your head, breathe deeply, and know that I am the God who turns pain into purpose. Nothing you lived was wasted. Every struggle of yours was noted. And every detail, every groan, every sleepless night, all will now be rewarded with double portions of grace, favor, and honor. I am the Lord, and I am faithful. How long will you hesitate between trusting or retreating? How long will you allow doubt to steal the place of the promise? I have shown you signs, I have given you words, I have opened doors, and yet you still walk looking backwards? I am not a God of confusion. I am the God who begins and completes. If I began something in your life, why do you fear I will not finish it? You say you believe, but your heart still leans toward fear. You declare hope, but you continue to feed thoughts of failure. Do you not see that this hesitation paralyzes what I have desired to release? It was not the enemy who delayed it. It was your indecision that slowed it down. I do not accuse you, I awaken you. Because this time demands positioning. And to hesitate is to take a step with your feet, but retreat with your soul. And I did not call you to live divided within. I marked this day with a seal, an eternal seal. Your story is not random. It is written with precision. And every detail, even the ones you regretted, are part of a perfect symphony. Why then do you allow uncertainty to silence the melody? I am the conductor of time, and everything I allowed to touch your life was to fine-tune your faith. Believe, I do not lose rhythm, and those who walk with me are never late. They arrive shaped. You question if you are ready. But preparation is not shown by the absence of fear. It manifests even with fear present, when you choose to trust. You think courage means no pain? Courage is saying yes even while trembling. It is continuing even without understanding. I am not waiting for a perfect warrior. I am calling for a willing heart. I am the one who turns the fragile into the strong, the doubtful into the brave, the wounded into leaders, and I want to do this with you. Why do you give so much power to contrary voices? Why do you believe more in what the world says than in what I have already affirmed? You were chosen before you breathed. You were set apart before you walked. I know you better than you know yourself. I have seen what you will become, even when you only see what is missing. Do not base your faith on what you feel, but on what I have spoken, because feelings fluctuate, but my word remains. You have thought about giving up more than once, but if you are still listening, it is because there is life inside of you crying out for something greater. You feel the pull. You sense something is about to break open. That is not fantasy, it is discernment. It is my spirit drawing you out of stagnation. But you must stop negotiating with doubt. Either you trust or you stall. I am clear, I am direct, and in this moment, I am calling you to move forward. Do you remember when I delivered you from that situation that seemed impossible? You had no way out, but suddenly something changed. That was not luck, it was intervention. That door that opened when everything seemed closed, that was me. That deliverance you could not explain, that was me too. So why do you now doubt? Has the God who moved before become smaller? Or has your faith allowed logic to contaminate it? Do not let your mind try to control what only the Spirit can discern. What I am doing will not be understood immediately, but it will be fully experienced. You do not need to understand to trust. You just need to follow me. I did not bring you this far to expose you to failure. I brought you here so that you would be activated. What is lacking is not confirmation, it is decision. Heaven has already confirmed. Now you must align. Doubt makes noise, but faith has weight. And when you act by faith, the spiritual realm responds. Heaven moves. Angels receive orders. Doors adjust. Times accelerate. But all of this begins with one step: trust. The promise is already alive. The miracle has already been released. But you must take your position, not with your lips, but with your heart. And if you must fight against unbelief every day, fight, because each choice you make defines the scene that will come. I do not want you to live halfway. Enough of incomplete cycles, enough of starting and not finishing, enough of believing for a moment and giving up the next. That has blocked the flow of what I have already prepared. And I came today to break that pattern, to wake you from numbness, to free you from the paralysis of fear, and to remind you that I am the one who called you, and I am still the one who sustains you. You are being summoned for something greater, but greater requires courage. It requires surrender. It requires action. Do not keep looking at what you lost. Do not keep looking at the time that passed. I specialize in recovering the irreversible. I restore what man declares as lost. And I do it in such abundance that even those who doubted will have to recognize it was my hand. Today I place before you a choice: faith or fear, advance or freeze, life or stagnation. I now blow upon your soul a new strength, a wind of clarity, a deep awakening, because this is the time to rise, to break forth, to leave the field of doubt and enter the land of promises. Archangel Michael was not sent to observe, he was sent to fight on your behalf. This word is not just encouragement, it is a summons, it is activation, it is a real calling. The time to hesitate is over. Now is the time to trust, even without seeing. Now is the time to walk, even without guarantees, because I am the guarantee. And if you dare to believe, you will see what natural eyes cannot explain. Do not ignore what I have already made evident. The time of hesitation has passed. This is the time to respond, and I am here, waiting for your yes. Today begins the turning point you were waiting for. Not just a change of environment, but a transformation of essence. I am touching the roots. I am moving in the origin. I am breaking invisible pacts that held you without your awareness. From this moment on, what was withheld begins to move. What seemed dead starts to breathe again. What was blocked begins to open. You were not forgotten. You were preserved for this moment. Nothing you went through will be wasted, because everything will serve as the foundation for what I am building. I began something in you that will affect your entire household. The chains that held you emotionally are being broken. The words that limited your identity are being annulled. I am rebuilding your confidence. I am clearing the distorted vision planted by pain. I am healing memories that still ruled your reactions. And as you are restored within, your home will begin to transform externally. Words once spoken in anger are being covered with forgiveness. Heavy silences are being broken by gestures of reconciliation. Love that seemed extinguished is being rekindled. The finances that slipped through your hands like sand will now be aligned. I am bringing order where there was disorder. I am releasing wisdom to manage what I will entrust to your hands. Cycles of debt are being ended with unexpected provision, but it will not just be an escape, it will be a restart with a solid foundation. I am taking you out of survival mode and leading you into abundance. And that abundance will not only be material, but also emotional and spiritual. You will have enough to share, and that will bring honor to your name. Do not think I am acting only for you. I am looking at those who came before and those who will come after. I am answering prayers made by past generations. I am setting you free so that your children and their children will not have to fight the same battles. The cycle of repetition is being broken. Hereditary curses are being dissolved by the authority of my presence. You will be known as the one who turned the key, the breaker of patterns, the restorer of paths, the forerunner of a redeemed lineage. I am raising you as an answer to those walking beside you. You will be like a spring in the middle of the desert, bringing direction where there is confusion. Your testimony will open many eyes. Your courage will inspire. Your consistency will teach. People who do not even know you pray for them will be touched. Homes will be reached by the light that shines through you. Do not hide your faith anymore. It will be a beacon for those who got lost in their pain. I do not raise people just to bless them. I raise them to be channels. You were chosen to carry something that blesses everyone who comes near. And even those who tried to hurt you will see what I am doing. Not as revenge, but as revelation. They will see that I am God over your life. They will see that attacking you was touching what is mine, and for that, I myself will intervene, not with wrath, but with justice, because what I begin, I protect, and what I protect, no one touches without consequence. Get ready to witness reconciliations you no longer dared to expect. Get ready to see children return, hearts softened, words released with truth. I am touching family relationships with my healing balm. I am restoring respect, honor, and connection. What was shattered will be rebuilt even stronger. What seemed beyond repair will be restored with grace. And you will see that I am still the God who unites the pieces and writes new stories filled with hope. In places where you were once ignored, now you will be sought after. In spaces where they diminished you, now they will recognize you. And it will not be for status, but for spiritual authority. What I am placing in you will be visible. The weight of my glory will be perceptible. Favor will surround you like a shield, and wherever you set foot, there will be peace, direction, healing, and deliverance, because I am going with you. And where I am, nothing stays the same. Future generations will honor you. They will reap the fruits of the seeds you cried to plant. They will see open doors because of the sacrifices you made. They will feel freedom where once there was oppression, and they will know that someone long ago chose to believe. You are becoming a landmark, a starting point for stories of victory. What I am building in you has eternal value. It is not momentary. It is not fragile. It is founded on the rock of my faithfulness. Today I declare the cycle of lack ends here. The cycle of constant fights ends here. The cycle of fear ends here. The cycle of bitter silence ends here. The cycle of continuous loss ends here. A new season is being activated. A new timeline has been released. And your life will be known as a reference for transformation. Many will come seeking comfort where once there was confusion, because I have made all things new. You are being repositioned in me, restructured by me, reignited with pure fire. You are the answer to old questions. You are healing for old wounds. You are the miracle in stories marked by trauma. And I am the God who does all this without needing logic, only faith. Do not hide anymore. I want to use you, not for appearance, but for essence. Not for titles, but for testimony. Not for fame, but for purpose. And your purpose in this time is to radiate the light that I myself have ignited in you. And that will be seen. That will be felt. That will be remembered because I am in it. And what I do remains. Declare now, I receive it. Not just with your lips, but with your whole heart. Because when you respond to what I release, you activate the atmosphere around you. Faith is not silent. Faith expresses itself. Faith reacts. Faith declares before it sees. Faith manifests in the middle of the battle. And that is why today I call you to take a stand. Do not just listen. Release the sound of your belief. When you speak, something breaks. When you agree, something aligns. When you say amen, heaven confirms. Comment 333 if you feel this word carries your name. Not because I need numbers, but because your act of faith makes a sound in the invisible. Heaven recognizes when someone decides to rise up in spirit. Every gesture you make is like a signal that ascends and moves the gears of the supernatural. I am watching your response. I am hearing your voice. And your yes releases a chain reaction that goes beyond what you can imagine. Do not underestimate the power of a small action when it is born out of obedience. Like this video, not just out of habit, but as a prophetic expression. Because when you do something simple in faith, the simple becomes a seed. And every seed filled with faith always finds prepared soil. Every time you share, it carries purpose. You are not just spreading words, you are announcing deliverance. You are opening doors for others to be reached. The blessing you activate in another will also return to you with honor. Because whoever sows miracles will reap multiplication. Do not settle for just receiving. Become a channel. You were touched to touch. You were awakened to awaken. You were healed to heal. This word is not a reminder of the past. It is a summons for the now. So repeat aloud, I believe in transformation. Say, I am the living answer to what God is doing. Declare, my house will see God's move. These declarations are not random phrases. They are tools. They are spiritual hammers that tear down strongholds. Every time you agree with the promise, you disarm the lie. Every time you release a word of faith, you silence the voice of fear. Do not let contrary thoughts take up more space in your mind than what I have already spoken. Fill the atmosphere with your conviction. Fill the atmosphere with praise. Fill your house with declarations of victory, because I dwell in the midst of genuine faith, and where there is faith, there is movement. You may think you are too small, that your words have no impact, but I tell you, even the faintest whisper, when born from faith, shakes spiritual walls. You have already seen what I have done with stones and dust. Imagine what I will do with a heart that believes. I multiply the little. I strengthen the weak. I give voice to the silenced. And today I am placing new words in your mouth, words that affirm, that build, that open the way. If something inside you trembles when you hear this word, it is because your spirit is recognizing the truth. You are no longer in the same place. Something has already shifted in the invisible realm, and your response seals what has been initiated. Write in the comments the number that burns in your heart. Maybe 111 to align with heaven's timing. Maybe 777 as a sign of fullness. Maybe 1212 as a key of realignment. But let there be no silence on your altar, because faith that stays silent falls asleep, but faith that speaks prevails. I am teaching you to war with your voice, to declare what you do not yet see, to sing before the victory arrives, to prophesy in the midst of chaos, because when you move in faith, heaven leans in. Angels receive instructions, winds change direction, the atmosphere around you responds. So open your mouth, raise your hands, write boldly. Release words that carry life. Because I am in the sound of faith, do not think your words disappear. They rise as incense before me. They mark the atmosphere. They activate paths. They sow deliverance. And what you release in the spiritual begins to shape the natural. Today I am activating your voice with authority. I am giving back the boldness that fear tried to steal. I am filling your lungs with new breath. And I want you to use this with wisdom, to declare life where there was only the noise of death, to proclaim healing where there was pain, to say it will bloom where others said nothing ever grows here. I do not need crowds to start something. I only need one who says yes. I only need someone who responds in faith. And you are that person. Your faith pleases me. Your faith moves the impossible. Your faith is enough to transform your home, your story, your city. Because heaven has never needed large numbers to accomplish great things, just one who truly believes. And today I have found that one in you. So stop now and say, I receive the change. Say with boldness, nothing will be the same again. Proclaim with authority, this word belongs to me. And in doing so, you will be activating a new dimension of understanding, provision, and authority. Because I am not a God of empty words. Everything I release carries purpose. Everything I send has a destined place. And today, this release has found its home. Keep declaring, keep positioning yourself, keep sharing, because your voice will be an instrument of deliverance. And what you activate now will be remembered as the mark of a turning point. Your faith is creating paths where there were only walls. Your obedience is calling forth answers where there was only silence. And every act of yours, no matter how small, is echoing in heaven with the sound of victory. There are things that were hidden that will now be revealed. No scheme against you has gone unnoticed by my eyes. While you were sleeping, I was watching. While you prayed without answers, I was searching the unseen. While you walked in confusion, I was organizing the invisible. And in this time, I am lifting the veil. I am tearing off masks. I am revealing what was done in the shadows. Nothing that was crafted against you will stand in the light I send today. Because where I arrive, darkness cannot resist. And today I am bringing light into areas that were once buried in deep silence. I saw the hidden conversations, the unjust alliances, the disguised intentions. I knew the thoughts that surrounded you behind fake smiles. And out of love for you, I guarded your path. I delivered you from connections that seemed like blessings but carried poison. I removed you from environments that looked like honor but were traps. What you interpreted as losses were actually protections. What looked like setbacks was my hand shielding you from what would have later destroyed you. Now I am turning the table. I am revealing who is who. I am bringing truth to the surface. And it will not be by your strength or your investigation. It will be by my justice. I myself am breaking the cycle of lies. I am undoing works of deceit. I am unmasking the spirit of manipulation. And what once clouded your vision will now be clear as day. You will know where to go. You will know whom to walk with. You will know what to cut and what to keep. Nothing will remain hidden under the disguise of good intentions. I am cleansing the environment. I am separating the wheat from the weeds. I am delivering you from the influence of words filled with poison. The words spoken against you will not flourish. Every verbal curse, every contrary prayer, every declaration of failure against your life is being broken now. The evil launched toward you returns to its source, powerless, strengthless, and without authority. You are no longer vulnerable. You are no longer unprotected. What used to harm you now cannot reach you. I have surrounded you with my shield. I have placed you under my cloud. I have hidden you in the shelter of my presence, and from there no one can remove you. I am your safe refuge, and no plan of darkness will be able to penetrate the place I have established you. No invisible arrow will pierce the protection I have built around you. There were burdens you carried that were not yours. Guilt, accusations, spiritual pressure that did not belong to you. And even so, you bowed under them without understanding why. But now I reveal many of your internal conflicts came from external interference, from words cast in secret, from disguised judgments, from soul chains formed by connections that needed to be severed, and I am doing that. I am breaking those ties now. I am cleansing your spirit, washing your mind, bringing lightness to your inner being. You do not need to fear what will be revealed, because the exposure I bring is not to shame, but to free. It is to reposition you. It is to raise you up with a clean identity, with clear vision, with open paths. What I remove from your life now is not loss. It is realignment. I am removing what hindered the flow, cutting what blocked the growth, tearing down invisible walls you did not know how to scale. And from this moment on, your walk will be lighter, clearer, safer. Do not be startled by what is revealed. Do not panic over the changes to come. Everything is under my control. I have already seen the end from the beginning. I have already prepared the route. I have already aligned the resources, and nothing that comes to light will destroy you. On the contrary, it will strengthen you, because when light enters, healing begins. And where there is healing, there is progress. And where there is progress, there is harvest. You will feel lighter. You will feel peace where once there was confusion. You will feel direction where once there was doubt. Because when I expose what was hidden, I also give you new tools. And today I give you sharpened discernment, more open spiritual eyes, more sensitive ears, stronger intuition, not to live in fear, but to walk in wisdom. I am teaching you to perceive the signs, to identify the environment, to discern the atmosphere, so that you will never again be trapped in cycles disguised as blessings. Everything that was plotted against you, secret meetings, hidden decisions, unjust alliances, everything is coming to the surface, and it will be undone by the power of my justice. You do not need to retaliate. You do not need to defend yourself. You do not need to justify yourself. I will do that for you. I myself am preparing the answer, and it will be public, and it will be visible, and all will know that my hand is upon your life. The exposure that comes is an answer to your silent prayers. Sometimes you ask for clarity. Other times you just ask for peace. And I am giving you both. Because where there is truth, there is rest. And where there is light, there is renewal. You are entering new territory, cleaner, purer, lighter, because I have cleansed the ground and now I can build something solid. What pursued you has been neutralized. What they tried to hide is being unmasked. What seemed invincible is being torn down, because I am the Lord of hosts. And when I rise to fight for someone, no opposing force prevails. Today, truth rises as a banner over you, and what was once shadow will now be glory. What was once deception will now be revelation. And you will walk in authority, not because of what you have, but because of who you carry. I am with you, and where I am, nothing remains hidden for long. Now is the time for double restitution. Everything that was taken from you by mistake, by injustice, by malice, or by omission, I bring back with honor. What was once forcefully removed, I return with peace. What hurt you will become the door through which healing will enter. Because I do not only restore, I exceed. I do not just give back, I multiply. What seemed lost forever will be found in a glorified state, and you will know without any doubt that only I could do this. I am accelerating what once seemed stalled. Years in which you felt stagnant are now shortened by my hand. The time that seemed wasted will be rewarded with sudden breakthroughs. What others took decades to achieve, I will place in your hands in months. Because the clock of heaven does not depend on earthly conditions. I operate outside of time. And today I am inserting you into a cycle of prophetic acceleration. You will no longer chase what is yours. It will begin to find you. I now answer what seemed forgotten. None of your prayers fell into the void. No supplication was ignored. Every cry you lifted, even when you thought you were not being heard, was recorded. And now the answers are coming. Not just one, but in waves. You will be surprised by doors you did not ask for, by answers you had given up hoping for, by confirmations you did not even know you still needed. Because I am the God who answers beyond your expectations. Get ready to enter fields you did not plant, but will reap. Get ready to be honored in places where you were once ignored. Get ready to receive invitations you did not expect, recognition you did not seek, and provision that will come from where you least imagined. Not because you forced it, but because I released it. Not by merit, but by grace. Not by works, but by promise. And everything I promise, I fulfill. The desert you walk through will bloom. I change the landscape. I cover the dry ground with life. Where there was silence, there will now be songs. Where there was thirst, there will now be springs. The desert that tired you will become the stage of my glory. Because there, where nothing seemed fertile, I will show that I am the Lord who turns dust into gardens, who brings forth hope from barren ground, who resurrects what was buried. The shame you endured is being removed. The words that shamed you will be silenced. The humiliation that surrounded you is being exchanged for double honor, because I am cleansing your name, restoring your image, rebuilding what was destroyed. The scars you carried will no longer be signs of pain, but living proof of overcoming. You will be known not by your fall, but by the way you rose in me. I am releasing a season where doors will not only open, but remain open. It will not be an isolated miracle. It will be a continuous move. It will not be a quick blessing. It will be an entire season marked by my hand. What seemed unreachable will be drawn to you. What seemed impossible will be resolved with ease. And you will know that it was not your strength, but my direct intervention. I send upon you the wind of restitution. It will bring back forgotten dreams, broken relationships, lost opportunities, but they will not return the same. They will come back better. They will return mature. They will come ready to remain, because what I restore never returns to its former state. It returns transformed, consecrated, full of purpose. And you will experience this in every area: emotional, spiritual, relational, and material. What you lost does not define who you are. What was taken from you does not limit what I can do, because your identity is not in your losses. It is in my promise. And I have called you to live in fullness. You will no longer live counting the pieces. You will live celebrating wholeness. Enough of living trying to gather fragments. I am giving you something complete, new, aligned with heaven.
Heaven has confirmed. The angels have already received orders. The decree has already been released. You are within a new cycle, and nothing and no one will be able to undo what I have begun. No opposing force will have authority over what I have established. And everything that once rose against you will now be neutralized by the sound of my voice. Because when I speak, everything falls silent. When I move, everything bows. When I declare, everything aligns. Now is the time.
The waiting was not in vain. The tears were not wasted. The cry was not forgotten. This is the day the harvest begins, and it will be visible. It will be abundant. It will be undeniable, because I am faithful to fulfill everything I have promised. And today I sign with my glory the complete restoration of your story. The chapter of shame ends here, and a new time begins, marked by honor, by restitution, and by peace, because I am the Lord. I have spoken, and so it shall be. You are being sealed for a new time. What I did in secret will now be revealed in honor. What I built in the backstage of your faith will now manifest before the eyes of many. The time of hiding has come to an end. The time of glorious exposure has begun. Michael is at the door, not with an announcement of waiting, but with an answer in hand. He does not come to promise, he comes to deliver. The order has been given, and the entire heaven moves toward your destiny. This is not just another word. It is ascending, a spiritual commissioning to live what was written about you before you existed. I am taking you out of expectation and placing you in fulfillment. I am removing you from the place of observation and launching you into the place of testimony. There is a sound echoing over you. It is the sound of the eternal seal, the seal of choice, the seal of promise, the seal of restored identity. You no longer walk as one who doubts, you walk as one who carries within a heavenly decree. I have given you a new name, a new mantle, a new anointing, and wherever you go, the environments will recognize that something in you has changed. Because it truly has. It is not emotion. It is transformation. It is not stimulation. It is activation. It is not a feeling, it is a seal. And the seal I place, no one can break. Rise in spirit. Lift your head as one who knows where they came from and where they are going. Walk as one authorized to break through limits. Breathe as one who carries the breath of promise. You are no longer the same. Something inside you has been marked. Something within has been aligned with my time. You have been sealed with a sound the enemy cannot imitate. A sound of one who overcame in silence and now advances in authority. Celebrate before you see, because those who believe anticipate, and those who anticipate provoke. Praise before manifestation is a key that unlocks doors that strength cannot open. Open your mouth and celebrate what I am doing now. Sing as one who has already received. Dance as one who has already won. Testify as one who has already lived it, because in heaven it has already been released. And when you move in faith, you pull the future into the now. This cycle will not be like the previous ones. You will not return to the starting point. You will no longer live going in circles. The time of repetition is over. Now it is advancement. Now it is multiplication. Now it is confirmation. And when I confirm, no one undoes it. When I approve, no one cancels it. When I send, no one stops it. You have been sent, not as someone ordinary, but as someone carrying a heavenly mission. There will be moments when you will feel like you are going alone, but you are not. There will be days when doors will seem locked, but they are only being adjusted to open at the right time. Trust the timing I have established. Heaven does not delay. Heaven prepares. And those who walk with me are not led by anxiety, but by the certainty that all things work together for eternal purpose. Nothing will be as before. Not you, not the environment, not the way you see what is around you. I am renewing your vision. I am expanding your perception. You will begin to discern things that previously went unnoticed. My voice will become clearer. My instructions will be more precise, and your sensitivity will increase. Because those who are sealed by me walk under continuous revelation. You will see answers coming in unlikely ways. People who were distant will begin to come closer with transformed hearts. Proposals will come without you having searched. Favor will surround you. Grace will sustain you, and joy will be restored deeply. Weariness will give way to lightness. Doubt will be swallowed by faith. Pain will be replaced by glory. And all this will be just the beginning. I am the God who turns backstage into stages. The one who was ignored will become a testimony of my power. What seemed small will be exalted, not because you sought projection, but because you chose to remain in the secret place when it was easier to give up. I honor those who honor me, and you chose to trust. And now it is my turn to show what I do with those who give me everything, even when they have nothing. You are about to witness the unexpected, something that was not in your plans but was already part of mine. A move so specific that you will know it was God, not me. An answer so detailed that you will not be able to attribute it to chance. A favor so precise that there will be no doubt that it was I, the Lord, who spoke and fulfilled, and everyone around you will see and recognize and give glory to my name. Comment now, 1212, not as superstition, but as a prophetic declaration. It is the number of alignment. It is the code of sending. It is the sound of the seal. Declare in faith, I receive the new time. Because when you declare, you activate. When you write, you seal. When you share, you multiply. And when you believe, you become a living part of what I am doing in this generation. I do not choose at random. I call by name. I separate by purpose. I seal by eternity. And today I send you as an answer, as a testimony, and as a sign. Wherever you arrive, my presence will arrive. Wherever you speak, my word will echo. Wherever you touch, my healing will flow. Because heaven has already decreed. The seal has already been placed. and nothing, absolutely nothing, will be as before. I am, I do, I fulfill, I am the Lord.